Network Security Lab Series, Lab 2, Configuring a Linux-based Firewall to Allow Incoming and Outgoing Traffic. We're going over Lesson 2, Configuring and Testing the Linux-based Firewall. The Windows Firewall was currently set up to allow all outbound traffic. In this objective, we will allow all outbound traffic and configure incoming requests for FTP, Telnet, SMTP, HTTP, and POP3 to be redirected to the internal Windows Server 2008 VM with the Linux Community Edition EDN Firewall. Lesson 2.1, Configuring the Firewall. We're going to click on the Windows 8 icon on the laptopology to bring up the login screen. If you haven't already logged in, you're going to log in using the password. So Windows 8 is right up here on the top left side, second machine. You can see I'm already logged in. Step 2, right-click the CMD shortcut on the desktop and select Run as Administrator. So I'm going to right-click CMD and Run as Administrator. Step 3, type the following command to ping the firewall on its internal interface. So in the command window, we're going to type in ping space 192.168.1.1 and hit enter. This is going to send some packets out. And then click on the shortcut to the Internet Explorer on the Windows 8 internal machine desktop. So we're going to double click on this to open it up. And we're going to go to the URL http, keep that in mind, it says http://192.168.1.1 and / hit enter. And we should get a prompt that says there is a problem with this website security certificate, but we are being instructed to select continue to this website, even though it's not recommended. Now I'm going to expand this window just a little bit so you can see the screen a little larger. Now at step 6 it says click the next button at the Welcome to EDN Firewall. Then we're going to select your language and your time zone. I'm going to keep it as the default as suggested in the screenshot and the instructions. Then we have a Welcome to EDN Firewall, and we need to accept this license. So I'm going to expand this out so you can see at the bottom the accept license block. At step 9 it says click the arrows at the Restore Backup screen. And then for the web front end and the SSH password, type password and click the arrows. And as you can see, we're going to type this in all the fields, all lowercase, password. If you hit tab, it'll take you to the next field. If you hit tab again on the keyboard, it'll take you to the next field without having to lift up your hands off the keyboard. And then I'm going to click those arrows since I believe I typed everything in correctly. Step 11, select Ethernet static and click the arrow buttons. So under red, untrusted internet connection WAN, we're going to select Ethernet static. And we're going to select those arrows. And then step 12, click the arrows at the network zone screen. So we're going to keep everything default here and just move on to the next screen. Step 13, click the arrows at the green interface screen, local area network 192.168.1.1, which we have here. This is the internal network LAN address. And we're going to hit those arrows. For the next screen, the red interface, we're actually going to enter in some information in these fields So we're going to type in 216.1.1.1 in the red untrusted internet connection WAN IP address field. For the network mask, we're going to select the 255.0.0.0. So if we hit this drop down, you should see an option somewhere up here on the top. WAC 8.255.0.0.0. And we want to make sure that the port number 2 is selected. And we're going to enter in this field the default gateway, which is the same as the IP address we put up on top, 216.1.1.1 for the internet connection WAN. And then we're going to click the arrows to go to the next screen. Step 15 says to put 8.8.8.8 for both the DNS servers. This is a Google DNS, and this system is not on the internet. So 8.8.8.8 under DNS1 field and 8.8.8.8 under the DNS2 field. Click on the arrows for the next screen, and then on step 16 it says click the arrows at the admin email address screen. So we're going to keep everything default and blank. Step 17, click OK, apply configuration to apply settings, which is this button down here at the bottom underneath the message that says congratulations, network setup is ready. Now we're going to wait for the network setup page to reload. We have step 8, the end. Your congratulation has been saved. Please wait until the dependent services have been reloaded. This may take up to 20 seconds and enjoy. I'm going to skip down to the next step. And we're waiting for the username Windows Security login screen to pop right up for us. So for the username, we're going to type in admin. And then for the password, we're going to type in password. And click OK to accept our credentials. Now we're going to go from the Windows 8 internal machine back to the command prompt. And we're going to ping that 216.1.1.200. I believe we have it right behind the screen here. We're just going to type it in this prompt here. Ping space 216.1.1.200. That's going to send out some packets. And the following commands to see if outbound FTP traffic is allowed. So now we're going to test out the FTP traffic. And in this command prompt, instead of typing ping, we're typing in FTP, all lowercase, space 216.1.1.200. Hit enter, and you're going to get a prompt for user. And we're going to type in FTP, all lowercase, for the user ID. And we should get a prompt for password. And this is where we'll type in the password, all lowercase. And that logged us in, which means that we do have access to send out outbound FTP traffic. And our last command is bye, which should exit it out of the FTP. Now at step 22, for outbound traffic, no firewall configuration was needed. We will now configure the inbound traffic. So we're going to click on the Firewall tab in the middle of the web page, and then click the green link that states Add New Port Forwarding / Destination NAT Rule. So we got to bring up that website again. We're going to go over to the Firewall selection up here on the top menu. You'll know that you're in the right selection if the firewall word had highlighted to green. And right here under current rules, we're going to select the add a new port forwarding destination map. Now we're going to highlight on step 23, uplink main 216.1.1.1, and then we're going to enter in the values below. So uplink main, our service is going to be an FTP service, so we're going to select under service for incoming service port, FTP. You can just select F and hopefully it'll take you to the first selection for F in alphabetical order. It already populates the port, which we confirm is 21. Then we're going to insert an IP address right here under the Translate To section in the Insert IP field. We're going to type in 192.168.1.100. And then if we click on Tab on the keyboard, it'll take us to the port range field where we're going to type in 21. Then we're going to click Create Rule. I'm going to get rid of this little message at the bottom here so you can see the rest of the screen. Right underneath the enabled checkbox, you'll see an option for Create Rule highlighted in blue. Click on that, and you will now see that the rule has been added to the list. Now we're going to go through several of these, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next port forwarding rule that we're going to create for Telnet. We're going to go through the same steps of selecting add a new port. Just scroll down a little bit so you can see the screen a little better. We're going to select uplink main IP 216.1.1. We're going to select the service for Telnet. I'm going to type in T to take me down to the T's. Scroll down a little till I find Telnet. It's already populated the 23 for the port, and in Insert IP, I'm just going to type in 192.168.1.100. Tab over to the port range and type in 23. Then we're going to create this rule. Oh, sorry, I typed in this wrong IP address, so I got an error message. Tab over port 23 and then create the rule. There we go. You can see it listed right underneath the other one we had created before. I'm going to go ahead and continue this on into part 2 of our video for lesson 2. I hope to see you soon.